Brompton T Line. Here's our 7 favourite features from our first impressions. We have been asked if we don't like or we wouldn't recommend the Brompton T Line. Well, the thing is, until today, we didn't have our hands on one that we could show you. The biggest difference we can see is that Brompton have just given up with the colours. They've just gone for blasted titanium. No, seriously, we're going to run through our 7 initial favourite features of the T Line, and then we're going to compare it to the P Line. Number 1, the roller wheels. This one and this one, they are the same as used on the P Line. We're not sure if they have bearings in them, but they do seem to spin better than the ones on our P Lines. Number 2, the saddle. It's got carbon saddle rails and is combined with the new advanced pentaclip, so it's saving weight. It's also compatible with the new B-Scene lights. This saddle weighs in at 205 grams, so about 45% less weight than a standard Brompton saddle. Number 3, the seat post. It's really cool. It's carbon with a steel outer, and it saves a lot of weight. It is available in standard or extended versions, but not a telescopic. We've made a video on that separately. We'll put a link in the description below, but it's available as an aftermarket upgrade. Number 4, the self-aligning hinge clamp plate assemblies, which addresses something that, let's face it, people have been moaning about for years, is making sure they're the right orientation before they do the hinge clamp up. I also understand they are better than any of the aftermarket versions. So just simply unscrew, and do you know what? It stays in the same place. And then you do it back up, and you haven't had to realign it. That is amazing. Number 5, the headset with better sealed bearings. So let's face it, it's going to be a nicer ride. We're hoping that at some stage we'll be able to bling this up a bit with either a Chris King or a Hope headset. I think it'll look awesome. Number 6, the handlebars. They are wider, so it's going to be a nicer, more controlled ride. They are made of carbon fibre. They are also a wider diameter, so they're more standard if you wanted to change them out for different versions. The T Line is only available in a low, like this one, and a mid handlebar type. The handlebars are held on with this clamp, so if you want to remove them, you can just undo these 4 bolts and then remove the clamp, and you won't scratch your handlebars by pulling them out. Number 7, the crankset. It's all new. It's got a carbon fibre crankset, and it's got a much improved bottom bracket, so it's going to make for a really nice, slightly stiffer ride. It comes in a choice of chainring size, 50 or 56. 56 is the default, which is this one. And number 7.5, the weight. It really is absolutely amazing how light that is. Wow, I can't wait to ride it. And now we're going to compare the T Line with the P Line, starting from the front and working to the back. Both bikes have 130mm lock-on superlight handlebar grips. They also have the same brakes and the same 4-speed shifter. However, the T Line can be configured as a single speed. They both come with the new big noisy bell, which can't be moved to the other side. The handlebars on the P Line are narrower than the T Line, which gives you more control on the T Line. The diameter of the T Line handlebars is also bigger. The stem on the T Line is shorter and a wider diameter. The stem and the handlebars are designed in such a way that if you want to change your low to a mid or your mid to a low, you just need to change the handlebars and the cables, and the stem works perfectly. Unlike the P Line, where if you wanted to change the handlebar type, you also need to change the stem and of course the cables. The handlebar catch assembly is actually in a completely different place on the T Line from the P Line. The handlebar catch assembly goes from here into here. And if it's too loose or too tight, you can adjust it using these bolts either side. So when the bike folds, it's actually connecting at a different point. The handlebar catch is also made of metal rather than plastic, and it is removable or replaceable from access on the inside of the stem. The hinge clamp plate assembly at first glance looks the same. It's brushed aluminium, but on the T Line it's self-aligning. The hinge is completely different. On the P Line it has a pin that has to be replaced by drilling it out. On the T Line it has bushes, so it means the change parts wear rather than the frame. The holes in the bicycle are here, and there's one on the stem, are here to look futuristic, cool and save a little bit of weight. The front carrier block is different from the P line. I think it has longer screws to fix it on, but also if you remove it to try and save some weight, the frame is flush, so you don't have the slight sticking out bit of the frame on the P line. The front carrier block, of course, takes all of this lovely luggage. The headset is really completely different on the P and the T line. It's got sealed bearings on the T line, not on the P line. The brakes are one of the few things that are the same on the T and the P line. The forks on the T line are carbon fibre versus titanium on the P line. Because of the different forks on the T line, the mudguards or the mudguard stays are different from the P line. So let's address the elephant in the room. The T line does actually have the aero rims that the P line did have, is supposed to have and sometimes has. The front wheel has a 20-hole hub with double-butted spokes and an aero rim. So it takes a Presta rather than a Schrader valve. It also has Tubolitos and Schwalbe 1 tyres compared to our P line that has Continental Contact Urbans, my favourite tyres. Due to the deeper aero rims, the braking surface is reduced. This doesn't mean that you can't stop in the same way, it just means that your brakes need to be better set up. Moving on down, pedals. The T line has the Brompton Superlight pedals. This year's P lines will have the Brompton Superlight pedals, or do have the Brompton Superlight pedals. This version has the standard Brompton pedals. Moving on back, we have a carbon crankset on our T line versus the standard crankset, which is aluminium, on the P line. The T line has a new bottom bracket. It has external cups, much more like your road bike, so we'll give you a nicer ride. The T line mainframe is full titanium, hence the name T line, compared to the P line mainframe, which is steel. The biggest benefit of titanium is it's corrosion-free and it's light, which is why someone put something in my head. The decal is silver versus black. Oops. Upon closer inspection, our silver decal isn't a decal, it's laser etched, like the T. The T line has a Superlight carbon railed saddle. The P line has a Superlight saddle. They both use the advanced Superlight pentaclip. The seat post on the T line is carbon with a steel casing. The P line uses the standard Brompton seat post. It's steel. The T line is available in a standard or extended length seat post. The P line is available in standard, extended or telescopic seat post. So for extra tall people, don't get a T line or have a steel telescopic seat post if you've got really, really long legs. It has a new seat post clamp, which is a change from the P or the C line. The chain used on the P and the T line is the same. The length will vary depending on the size of the chainring and the gearing. The T line has the new tooled version of the chain catcher. Then we move on to the arse end of the bicycles, the bicycle's bottoms. And effectively, the P and T line bottoms are the same. The suspension block between the two is the same. The advanced roller wheels are the same on the P and the T line. The titanium rear triangle on the T line is blasted titanium. On the P line is titanium and painted black. The reflectors between both bikes are the same, as are the brakes. The rear mudguards used on the P and the T line are the same. The 4-speed gearing system on the P and the T line is the same. It uses the same chain tensioner and derailleur. The T line uses the same locking block mechanism as the P line. So you can fold it halfway down and still roll it. And now I'm in supermarket mode. I have some shopping to do. The P line and the T line use the same 28-hole hub, which is newly designed. Did you like this video about comparing the T line with the P line? If you did, please give us a big thumbs up. And by the way, did we miss anything? Please comment in the comment section below. Of course, the most important part is to demo this demo. See you! Number 1, the roller wheels. They are the same as those used on the P line, but allegedly they're going to have bearings in them. We're going to take them a look in due. Take that look. Number 3, the seat post. It's really cool. It's a carbon seat post with a steel outer, which Number 7. The T Line mainframe is carbon. The T Line mainframe is full carbon. The saddle and pentaclip on the T Line. The T Line uses the carbon fibre. The seat post on the T Line is carbon with steel casing. The P Line uses the standard Brompton carbon. The mudguards on the P and T Line rear. Again. The 4-speed gearing system on the P and the T Line is the same, using the same gear. It's not a gear indicator chain.